Harvey. I'm so excited you're joining me today. Last episode, we roasted chicken legs. This time, we are going to conquer a whole chicken. And it's going to be so satisfying because there's nothing like preparing a whole roasted chicken and serving it to your family. So, let's jump into it. Let's start with our bird. So important. So this is just a 6 pound, a little bit over 6 pound bird. I got it frozen and I want to keep it frozen and to defrost it in the refrigerator. I do not want to put it on the counter. I don't want to submerge it in water. I want to make sure I defrost it properly. So I'm going to leave it in the refrigerator in its own pan until it's all the way defrosted. It takes about a couple days or so. Now for my other ingredients, I'm going to need about a stick of butter. I'm going to need salt and pepper, some of my favorite dried herbs, and we'll talk about that later. About a stalk or two of celery that I've already trimmed, and you can leave the leaves on this as well. An onion, a lemon, and then I always have some fresh herbs on hand. You don't have to use fresh herbs in this one, but I always think it gives it a little bit of punchy flavor. So that's the ingredients. The key to making this bird taste really, really tasty is all in the seasoning that we're going to slather on it. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to take my butter that's already room temperature, so it's really soft. See? Oh, nice and gushy. And I'm going to add a lot of salt. This is a 6 pound bird, so you need a couple good pinches of salt. I know you think that this is a lot. It is, but it's okay because a lot of it's going to run right off the bird and to the bottom of the pan. Then you're going to use some pepper and you're going to pepper it up really, really well. Then I'm going to use my dry ingredients, which is this herb mix that I have, which is a herb de Provence. So it's got some rosemary, it's got some thyme, it's got some marjoram, which is a lot like oregano, and maybe a few other herbs like savory herbs in there. So we're gonna put that in there. Might even have some lavender, which I love. And then I, of course, like something fresh always. So I'm gonna put some fresh oregano that I got right out of my garden. If I had sage, I would put some whole sage leaves in there or just lightly, roughly chopped. And I'm also going to put in about a sprig of rosemary. Okay, that's all of our rosemary. The next thing we need is the juice of half a lemon. So I just want to hold my hand like this because I'm going to use it as like a reamer. I'm going to put the juice all in here, and I'm going to save the rinds. Of course, you know I like to roast the rinds with my chicken. If you watch my last episode, I'm going to do a whole lemon. I'm sorry I said half, but I meant a whole. And it's not a huge, giant lemon. It's like a medium-sized lemon. Okay? All right. And now I'm going to take my spatula, and I'm just going to mash it up all the way around. I'll show you what it looks like. So we're going to make a nice buttery paste. All right, so I'm letting that butter hang out, and I've got my onion, and I am not going to waste any parts of this onion this time. I'm going to take this onion, skin on it, everything, and I'm going to quarter it. And I'm actually going to come right over here, and I'm going to put it right in this pot that has a little bit of water in it. And I'm going to show you why in a second. And then I'm also going to put in one of my celery, chopped up celery stalks, or cut celery stalks. Okay, so getting back to over here to the bird. So we have the bird just hanging out here, resting. So now I'm going to stuff the bird. So I'm going to reach in. This is the kind of cool, yucky part. With your hands, and I'm going to pull out the stuff that everybody's like, ooh, it's the heart and the and the liver and stuff. So I'm gonna put in the gizzard. So I'm gonna put it right there into the pot because we're not gonna waste any of that. And we're just gonna let it hang out here. And while my hands are chickeny, because remember we don't wanna cross-contaminate, anything I touch from now on, I wouldn't have to use here or I have to toss out because it will have raw chicken on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach over here and I'm gonna take the lemon, one of the lemon squares, and I'm gonna stuff it into the bar. I'm gonna turn it in this way so you can see in the cavity. And then I'm gonna stuff in one of the onions and the celery. And I think I could, I don't know if I was gonna use this or not, but I think I can. Maybe I go through the front. Oh yeah, there she goes. So I'm gonna stick it all the way in. And then I'm also gonna take some of my rosemary and some of my oregano, and I'm gonna just fold it over, and I'm gonna jam it in there too. It's gonna make this bird be fragrant from the inside all the way out, because all that flavor is gonna come right up through it. And I have a piece of twine. Now if you don't have this, this is okay. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. I'm gonna just let it hang out over here, and I'm gonna turn the bird this way. Okay, next part is we have to season this bird. So we had all of our seasonings in our butter. And what we're gonna do is underneath the skin right here, you're gonna lift up and you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna like put your hand all the way through, and you're gonna feel like little like tissue in here. You're just gonna pull it up aside so you can get all the way up, and so your hand should fit right in the skin. I know it's kind of gross, but it's kind of fun too. It's kind of cold. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take half of the butter that you have, and you're gonna actually lift up the skin and push it inside. See that big pat of butter? And you're gonna just smash it all the way around. Oh, right? Okay, you see where I'm going with this? We're gonna have lots of flavor going up there. So I'm gonna take the other bit of this and I'm gonna stick it in. You wanna be careful not to tear the skin of the chicken, because if you tear it, then it's just gonna have a hole in it and it's just not gonna be really pretty. But this is gonna be a really, really pretty bird. So you can also reach around with with your thumb and get the leg and do the same thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish pressing this all the way down and around. And I'm gonna take the wings and I'm just gonna bend them and tuck them straight under. So you just take the wing and you just bend it under so she's sitting on the wings. Okay? All right. Last thing we're gonna do, because it's all trussed up from the back, see this? We're gonna take the legs up, and I'm just gonna bring one leg, a string under, and I'm going to twist it around here, and I'm gonna just tie it up. So she's all tied up. Now, if you don't have that, it's okay. I've actually done this at school before, and we didn't have twine at the time, and we just we had our pan really snug, so we just let the legs flay out. That was okay too. All right, so now that the outside is all done, look at this beautiful bird. We are actually going to do the outside. So I'm going to take the rest of all of that butter, and I am going to just put it on the outside of the bird. And I'm just gonna go around it. If I have any extra butter, I'm gonna get on the wings. And I'm gonna go wash my hands so we can season it one last time. Okay, so I have some more of my dried seasonings. I'm gonna put it on the outside of the bird. So that's gonna really look really pretty. And then I'm also gonna put some more salt and a little bit more pepper. I'm also going to go to this pot and I'm going to add pepper. And I'm going to add salt as well. And why am I doing this? Because I'm going to stick it right here. Okay, we're going to put this on medium-high heat and let it come to a simmer so we can use this later in a soup or we can make a gravy out of it. Okay, let's get back to this bird. So I got some paper towels because remember, anything over here is pretty much got chicken juice on it. So I'm going to pour all of the rest of that lemon juice on it because I don't want to lose that. And now I'm going to go right to my oven that's been preheated to 425 degrees. I'm going to put this bird right in here on the rack. And I'm going to let it cook for 1 hour before I go back and check how it's doing with a thermometer. Because remember, a thermometer is the only way for sure that we know if the chicken is cooked to the proper temperature. So let's come back in 1 hour and see. Okay, an hour has been up. Let's check the bird with my trusty thermometer. I'm going to put it in the thickest part of the bird. And we're going to go see. Oh, right now it's at 137. And that's it. It just stopped at 137. So it needs to be at 165. The bird has a beautiful color on it. So I don't want it to get too dark. So I'm just going to cover it up loosely with some tin foil. We call this tinting. I'm going to stick it back into the oven for about another 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. I'll check on it again and that should do the trick. While the chicken is cooking, I'm going to get the broth that I had to the side and I'm going to pour everything inside a strainer. Put this right here. And now I have a nice broth that is ready to cool off and store it in the refrigerator or freezer until I'm ready to use for a soup or for gravy or even up to moisten up a stuffing. She's so beautiful. Wow, I don't know why I keep calling her she, maybe it's because she's so gorgeous. So I'm going to take my little brush and I'm going to brush some of these delicious pan drippings right on top of it. Give it that nice sheen for her close up because you know I'm going to get a beauty shot of this bird. And then I'm also going to take some fresh herbs. You know, you got to garnish because we eat with our eyes first. And look, how amazing does this look, you guys? A whole roasted chicken for your family. Perfect for Sunday supper or any supper for that fact. So remember to like, subscribe, and share the love. Thanks for joining me today.